another Toys to Life game.
Yep, Lego Dimensions.
It's what?
Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers' entry into the category.
The third one in like what, a week?
Yeah, we had Skylanders last week and Disney Infinity a few weeks ago, I think.
You know, like sometimes I think, oh, should I be a parent or not? And I think this is like the number one thing that's stopping me from doing that is the fact that if I was, I'd have to spend like $5,000 every year on all this Toys to Life.
Yeah, they're getting pretty expensive. Yeah, Lego Dimensions is not a cheap product to buy a child.
Yeah, kind of break that down. I mean, what exactly is the cost if you want to get a decent setup?
So basically, you have the starter pack, which gets you, obviously, the toy pad. It gets you the characters Wild Style, Gandalf, and Batman. And then you get the Batmobile. And that's going to run you $100.
Okay.
Now, it's actually interesting because the entire pitch by Warner Brothers is that you don't have to buy other characters to play the story. While that's true, there is a rather big paywall if you want to do anything else besides the story. And so you get level packs, which unlock an extra level for that character. Those are $30 each.
Oh, wow.
You get a level pack, which has 2 characters, a vehicle, and an item, and those are $25 each. And then you get fun packs, which is a character and either a vehicle or an item, and those are $15 each.
So now, when you say level pack, you said one level. Do you literally mean, is that what you get with a pack, is one level?
Yes, it's not tied into the actual story. They're more like side campaigns. For example, with the Homer level pack, you basically relive one of the episodes from The Simpsons in Lego form.
Which episode?
It is the one where, I don't remember its name, but basically Homer goes to a chili cook-off, eats some Peruvian hell peppers.
Oh, that's the one.
He basically starts hallucinating, and basically he's really concerned that he's going to break up with Marge. It's a cool little side thing. It's not absolutely necessary to complete the entire campaign, but it's a fun thing that if you're into those characters that come in the level packs, it's something you might want to get.
Now, in the actual episode, which I believe is called The Mysterious Voyage of Homer, Johnny Cash played a coyote. Does he reprise his role in the game?
Here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if he does. What I think Warner Brothers has done with this game is what they've done with other movie-inspired games like Lego Lord of the Rings, where they actually rip the audio from the show and then put it in. I don't know if he's actually in there voicing the same lines.
Well, he's dead, so I would think not. But if the fact that they got the rights to use his voice would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has really worked with a lot of different production companies. We have Fox with The Simpsons, we have Universal with the Jurassic Park series, and we have Sony Columbia Pictures with Ghostbusters. They've really done a really good job of bringing in all these franchises. Some of them I'm not sure why they're in this game. I feel like Warner Brothers had some other franchises that may have been more kid-friendly to put in here as alternatives. But overall, I think that there is a good variety in here to like.
So, I mean, you mentioned a lot of different properties to start off with. Do you think that there could be an issue with there being too many at first? I think we have about 10 or 11 different properties to start off with.
I don't think that there's the problem that there's too many. I think that there's a problem with selection. One of the properties that I had a really hard time with in the game is the Doctor Who property. I've never seen Doctor Who. I imagine a lot of children that are buying this game don't know who Doctor Who is. And there's actually in the game, there's actually a slight horror segment. And I don't know how that got into the game, considering that they're aiming for a very small demographic. On the flip side, there are some kid-oriented franchises I'm not sure adults are going to know. I've never heard of Lego Chima before this.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
So I don't know. I feel like Warner Brothers, and then also like Jurassic World. I wrote an article for the Lego Jurassic World video game a while back, basically kind of going, this is a really weird property to use. It's rated PG-13. There's a lot of deaths. There's a lot of murders, that kind of stuff, and it just feels weird that Warner Brothers has all these properties, and it's a weird spectrum. There's like very adult properties like Lord of the Rings, like Jurassic World, and then there are very kid-oriented ones like Lego Chima, Lego Movie that are in this game. So it's a really, I don't think there's the problem that there's too many. I think it's a very weird spectrum they're trying to aim for.
Now, you checked out this game at E3, and I believe you were able to have them confirm that they would never do any sort of packs from franchises that are in the gaming world mature rated or in the movie world R rated. Is that true?
That is correct. I did ask them about specific ones. I asked them about like Halo or Game of Thrones.
That'd be great. I'd like to get some
that'd be really
Khaleesi action up in there.
That'd be great. But they were very, very adamant that you're not going to see Kratos chopping off someone's head with the Blades of Chaos.
Ah, rats.
The highest they'll go is PG-13 in the film world,
okay,
and rated T in the gaming world. And that's actually something that I feel isn't represented very well. There's only one gaming property in here. Actually, there are two, although one of them's kind of they have a Midway arcade level, which is kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different Midway titles.
Spy Hunter and stuff like that.
Not exactly Spy Hunter. More like their classic ones from way back in the day in the arcade. But Portal's really the only franchise that's represented here, and I feel like Portal's well known to an older audience, but it's not really known to a younger audience. And GLaDOS' humor does come off kind of dark, so I'm not sure if Lego Dimensions is as kid-friendly as I was expecting it to be.
Portal is definitely an adult. I don't know if I've ever met any kid who plays it. I can see a smart kid playing it. It's pretty violence free, but yeah, I do understand what you're saying, that it's a very kind of mature game. Now, explain exactly if someone wants to get the basic full experience. Now, of course, not everything, but experience most of what Lego Dimensions has to offer. How much money do you think they're going to be in for this?
Well, basically with the $100, you get the storyline, which is actually pretty good. It's pretty humorous. You can't 100% each level. There are these really annoying gold blocks that pop up each time, reminding you that, oh, you need so-and-so kind of character to get through this part. But you can play through the entire story without an extra character. And then basically every franchise has its own hub world you can jump into when they have side quests and stuff. So with Wild Style, Batman, and Gandalf, you can jump into the hub worlds of the Lego Movie, the DC Comics, and Middle Earth. But you get that experience, but there are still a lot of other things you can't unlock unless you're willing to pay more.
Now, is the game basically... Is it closely related to the other Lego blank games? Is it really like a brawler or a top-down experience like that?
This is very much a Lego game. If you've played a Lego game all the way back in 2006, starting with Lego Star Wars, you're basically going to be set. You're going to know what to do. This is a game about completing a few simple puzzles, about brawling with a couple enemies, completing some very simple platforming, and collecting studs.
What are studs?
Studs, little Lego studs, you collect them. They're used as in-game currency. You can purchase some modifiers, upgrades for weapons, and upgrades for vehicles.
Okay. Is there any sort of DLC the game's seen yet?
No. All of the DLC is going to be the figures.
Which I guess helps explain why it's $850, but
yes, and this is the lowest amount of characters. Even if you get all the characters, compared to past Lego games, which have had upwards 50 plus characters, this is the least amount.
Okay. So physically, what are we talking about as far as you mentioned the figures? Are they actual little Lego characters, or are they more like sculpted figures like in the Skylanders series?
No, these are actual Lego figures.
Oh, okay.
This is actually something that's really interesting with Lego Dimensions, is that they ask you to build things.
Oh.
So you get your toy pad, you build it, you get your minifigures, you build them, you put them on their NFC chip, put them on the toy pad, you do that, you're good to go. Basically, you don't even have to build the minifigures, you don't even have to build the toy pad. Everything is on the NFC chips. So if you want, you can just put the NFC chips on there and you're good to go. You don't even have to mess with any of the Lego building.
That sounds kind of lazy, though. That's not what you did, is it?
No, I built it.
You used your imagination?
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I mean, Legos do look... I don't think Legos have ever not looked cool, so I'd see the appeal of wanting to do that, too.
Now, I would say that the toy pad does change up the game a bit. While there isn't a lot of gameplay evolution in the Lego aspect, so the punching and the platforming and stuff, there is a lot of interesting applications used with the toy pad. Basically, throughout the game, you collect these things called keystones, which activate a certain mini game you use with your toy pad. So, for example, one tasks you with basically lighting up the toy pad in certain colors. So you have a middle section, a left section, and a right section, and you basically guide your characters around and you put them on the right area of the toy pad. Once you collect a color in game, you color the toy pad and you can advance.
Okay.
Another changes the heights of the characters so they can go into like little gerbil cages and basically press buttons. It's simple stuff. It gets a little more complicated later on in the game when they ask you to juggle multiple different parts of the gerbil cage, where they ask you to mix the different colors together to get like green, purple, or orange. It's not too hard, but I could see like a really, really young child maybe getting a little bit confused.
How young are we talking? 5 and under?
Probably. Like I said, it's really weird. I'm not really sure what age they're aiming for.
Yeah.
Because they got an E10 plus rating, but
I think they want to get that collector's market in. I think they want to get those adults with the expendable income. You know, there's so many people I know who like Doctor Who just blow wads of cash on it. So that to me kind of explains why that property for one got in the game.
yeah, and I think that might be their biggest problem going forward, because they're asking a lot. The paywall here is very, very large if you want to access pretty much the rest of the game, because once you beat the story, there isn't a whole lot to do, which is actually really weird, because like with Lego, I feel like Disney's toy box mode would fit perfectly in there, almost like a build your own hub world type thing with Legos. But it doesn't do that. After you beat the campaign, you can play the campaign missions again, or you can go mess around in the hub worlds. Well, if you don't purchase other characters, you're limited to just 3 hub worlds.
Ooh, that could get boring fast.
Mm-hmm.
And with Disney Infinity, you have, as you mentioned, not only just like a hub world, but you have this endless imagination of things to do. You can go race, you can just walk around, you can build your house, you can get friends, you can do pretty much whatever you want. And that's something I think could be a concern perhaps with Lego, is that it's a little more closed off.
Absolutely. I love what they did with the cohesive storyline. With Disney Infinity, everything feels so segmented when it comes to each playset's story. But with Lego Dimensions, it all works together. You have your 3 main characters. Some of the other characters kind of come in as like side characters.
Okay.
But they're not big. They don't really play that much of a role in the actual story. But once you're done with that story, there's not much else to do unless you really want those other characters and you want to enjoy those other hub worlds.
Do you think that overall the game is too derivative of Disney Infinity or Skylanders or even Amiibo?
I wouldn't say it's derivative of Disney Infinity. I think Disney Infinity's almost doing their own thing with the toy box mode that makes playing past the completion of a playset worthwhile. I think Lego Dimensions is kind of caught in this in-between world between a normal Lego game and what I think Warner Brothers wants it to be, which is Disney Infinity. Because right now it's really conservative in the fact that it plays the same as every Lego game. It's got a cohesive story that you're going through, but then it doesn't really have that endgame content, because most recent Lego games, like Lego Jurassic World or Lego Lord of the Rings, they have that hub world already built in. So we've already been to Middle-earth, we've already been to the DC Lego universe in the Lego Batman games. So it kind of feels like it's trying to be a Lego game, but it wants to be Disney Infinity, and right now it's just stuck too close to being a Lego game.
Is it a series that you think will have legs? Will we see another Lego Dimensions come out next year, and in the meantime, even more packs?
Well, they have 5 waves currently. So we just had Wave 1, and then Wave 5 will go all the way up until spring. What I hope they do is learn from their mistakes in a similar way that Disney Infinity did. They kind of realized with the first one that they weren't using their most popular franchises, that the combat was very basic, pretty tedious. And then so in Disney 2.0 and the Disney 3.0, they brought in other studios like Ninja Theory,
right,
to basically evolve the gameplay mechanics and make it a deeper game. Not so deep that young children couldn't understand, but deep enough to where there was some substance. And that's really what Lego Dimensions needs to be. It needs to get those gameplay mechanics that don't feel like it's the same formula as it's been for the past 10 years. And then they need to build an end game that doesn't feel like you're being screwed over because you're not paying up for the extra characters.
Right, and that's a very dangerous business model in a world where we have games like Guitar Hero pretty much jettisoning older DLC. Well, Lego Dimensions is available right now for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. The starter pass is going to set you back, as we said, $99.99. It's in stores now. If you want to see more of Kevin's thoughts on the games, head over to hardcoregamer.com and check out a review. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we should watch where we step. This doesn't make any sense. It's almost like we're in a video game.
That is the single most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.